The new trailer for Halloween drops, and our first horseman of the Breenpocalypse, Fateful Findings, on episode 105 of the Cinema Psychos show. Let's hit that theme music.
Oh, goody, goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh, my God, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined by my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, John and Lane Woolscroft.
Why are people so mad in this house? Why can't we just get along?
It's a madhouse.
The madhouse.
Madhouse.
Oh, Planet of the Apes reference right off the bat. I love it.
Yeah.
And don't give me that Caesar bullshit. We're talking the original.
Caesar. Yeah, so we're on episode 105.
Can't believe it.
And this is a very special episode. As Lane spits up her coffee
nearly comes out my nose.
So this is our first entry into, or the first horseman, if you will, of Breenpocalypse.
Breenpocalypse. I like what you did there.
Breenpocalypse.
It's true.
I actually looked on Google to see if anyone else had done that before, and no one has.
Nailed it.
So, hashtag
Nailed.
Breenpocalypse.
From
Tell your
filmmaker
friends.
Neil Breen.
Tell your family.
Who's a special brand of something.
Oh my gosh.
I'm convinced the man is not human.
He might. He
And
might
we'll get to
not
that
be.
later.
Oh yes. Oh yes. But the granddaddy of bad modern filmmaking. I mean, he makes Tommy Wiseau look like the soul of an artist. So
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get to that, we have a little bit of a news bit. We thought it was kind of pertinent since the trailer had just dropped, because in October, Halloween is going to the film franchise in general, not just the holiday. But that kind of takes up our whole month anyways. But it's going to be taking up like half of our October.
Pretty much.
We'll be doing a retrospective on the series, and then we'll be reviewing the new movie.
Right.
And speaking of the new movie, the trailer dropped for this, so we wanted to kind of take an analysis of that real quick and see what they had to offer here. They've been pretty close to the chest with this one, or is it chest or vest? I don't know.
played it close to the vest.
Vest, yeah.
In terms of what to expect, the only thing they really told us was that it takes place after the events of the first film, so not even the second plays any
and
part
that's
in
very
this.
important because this film has been retconned.
Yes.
And for anyone that's not familiar, that's kind of
We've already done that.
but it's a but anyway, retconned means to kind of take away like what events have happened before. Like a good example is the X-Men franchise, where the Days of Future Past, where those movies have kind of like retconned, like the third movie of the original.
It's cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of like picking and choosing what you want. But they've been very mysterious about the plot, too, I think, John, because all the synopsis really gives us is just that Laurie Strode confronts Michael Myers 40 years after his initial killing spree. Can you guys believe that? 40 years? That's crazy.
Well, I met the guy that played Michael Myers, and he told me that he was pretty convinced that this is going to play in like 6 drive-in movie theaters and then disappear to the annals of time.
Wow.
And he only did the movie because he wanted to work with Donald Pleasance.
Yeah,
He
that's
was
right. That's
brazenly
right.
honest.
Yeah, well, too, because there's
And he's in this one.
There's an excellent book on horror movies in their historical context as well. What's that called, John? That book that you had?
You're going to do that to me right now?
I'm
You're
so
gonna try to-
sorry. I forget what it
Horror
is.
books and stuff.
It's an excellent
We
book.
bought it at Horror Books R Us. Yeah.
It's an excellent book. I'll look it up. And Brian, if you wouldn't mind putting it in the show
Sure.
notes, it's definitely worth a read. It doesn't just cover Halloween. It covers all horror movies, from a certain time, and kind of talks about how the era, informs these movies. But I can't believe it's been 40 years. It looks very interesting. The only thing that concerns me a little is that they shot it so fast.
Yeah.
Production was so quick. Production started in January of this year.
Was it really January of this year?
Yeah, January 2018. Shit, where did I see that?
Wait,
I just
so
read
they
it real
shot and
quick.
cut this in under...
Wow.
Wait. That can't be right.
No, they shot and cut. They shot it. It's already shot, so they shot it starting in January, but they only shot from January to February. I swear. That's what I saw.
What?
So they have a final print of this in 4 months?
Yeah. I guess so. Here we go. Principal photography. Principal photography commenced on January 13th, 2018 in South Carolina and concluded on February 19th, 2018. They're done. They shot it that fast.
Okay.
If it's on
That's
Wikipedia,
worrisome.
it must be true. Well, that's why I said I'm worried. Like that's the only thing I find a bit concerning. But I guess it does sort of harken back to the film's original roots because the original Halloween, they shot that in like 5 weeks, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Different time, I suppose.
I suppose, but I mean, if they knew exactly what they were doing, if you have a good plan and you have a few resources, I mean, is Danny McBride? Is he the director?
No, he's not.
No?
David
Okay.
Gordon Green is the
Yes,
director.
David
Is
Gordon
he just
Green.
the writer then?
Yeah,
I think he
Danny
was the
Danny
director,
McBride
yes.
just wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting. It was 3
My
people.
bad, everybody.
So the director, Danny McBride, and then Jeff Fradley all wrote the screenplay. And it is with John Carpenter's blessing.
Yeah, I think he's a producer on it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
he's an
that's why
executive
it's-
producer on it.
That's why it's with his blessing. He's making money off of this. It's just when James Cameron said, Terminator Genesis is the best one since my second one, because they gave me a big fat check to say that. You know.
That's,
Yeah.
that's a good example.
And John Carpenter did have a deal to do the score,
Yeah.
which is great. So I think that's pretty awesome. Like, I think that's nice to know.
Well, they put a lot of like nice touches in there. Like Tony Moran is back as the Shape.
Yeah.
You know, they have the original score. I think like they're trying to get as close to the original mask. I never understood why there was always a different mask in every movie. You know, like there
It's
are
the
some
same.
good
Well,
ones, some
it's
bad
the same
ones.
reason why superhero costumes change between movies,
Yeah,
even if there's like 5 minutes later.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Halloween 5 mask is probably the worst one. But yeah, Lane, you had mentioned that this has some retroactive continuity. They already did that with Halloween H2O because that
remember
one,
that.
the 7th movie in the franchise,
Right.
is supposed to ignore. I mean, we're not counting 3 because that's not in the Michael Myers world. They were supposed to ignore 4, 5, and 6, and so now
Yeah.
we have and possibly 2. I'm not sure.
No,
They never made that very-
it was still her brother.
Yeah, why isn't he burnt?
I don't know.
And
a lot of
no,
questions.
and now,
I mean,
this one you're supposed to ignore everything except the first one.
Exactly.
Until they like decide to make a new version of this movie, and you're supposed to ignore this one.
Again, it's cheating.
Yeah,
again.
well,
yeah.
well,
It's
and
fucking
two,
cheating.
depending on what timeline you look at, at first Laurie Strode had a daughter,
Yeah.
and then she had a son, and now she's a daughter again, and I think this is really sad, because Danielle Harris was the one who played Laurie's daughter in the the original, like the 4 and 5.
Yep.
She actually contacted Blumhouse and was like, "Hey, like I would love to reprise my role." Blah
Is
blah
Blumhouse
blah.
behind this?
I think so.
I don't think they are they?
Yes.
No.
I think so.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That explains why they shot it quickly and why it's still coming out.
Yeah,
It's just
they're-
working.
Under a year.
They're listed. I mean, Miramax is still a part of things as well, but Blumhouse is one of the production
They're
houses.
fucking Blumhouse.
That's all right. Yeah, Weinstein's.
But yeah,
like-
Danielle Harris
Blumhouse.
reached out.
Yeah, but she reached out and she was like, "Yeah, like I'd love to reprise my role," or like whatever she said. I don't know what she said. It just says that she reached out to Blumhouse and offered, but they decided to go in a different direction, and they decided to go with Judy Greer to play Karen Strode. Which is now Laurie's daughter. So I
takes-
love Judy Greer. So I'm
Yeah.
kind of excited about this.
Well, she takes her involvement in these movies very seriously. Danielle does. Like,
She does.
That's all she's got.
yeah, that's
That's
sadly
it.
true.
But she seems like a cool lady.
Oh yeah,
I don't
she's
know.
definitely a cool lady, and it would have been cool to put her in there. But no, they're going with someone they can sell the movie on. Judy Greer, has some. I guess
Judy Greer is so
FaceTime on
underrated.
stuff.
I love her. I think she's so underrated. I think she's so damn
I
funny.
liked her in Jawbreaker.
Yeah, well, she's done tons of other stuff. I mean, a lot of things that are more like,
Well, guys, casting
chick fare. But
Danielle Harris would have been confusing because they purposely went out of their way to ignore so many of these movies, and if they had put in, the character from 4 or 5, and well, technically 6, it wasn't her, but it was still her character was in that one.
Right.
That would have just confused it even further.
I think
Possibly.
I think it's more or less that Blumhouse already had a beat on Judy Greer, and there's just like, where are we going to stick her at if we get Danielle Harris? Yeah, it would be cool to have Danielle Harris in it, but we can get Judy Greer.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I could see that. But I like her, so I'm really excited. At first, I wasn't super excited about this, but I mean, I don't know. It's like 40 years later, and it's freaking Halloween, and Carpenter's gonna score it. Like, I think I'm in. I think I'm excited.
Well, in this universe, Michael is back in jail. So if this is after the events of the first one, when Dr. Loomis just sees that Michael is gone, did he just kind of stumble down the street a little bit and fall over in front of a cop car? Like, so they got him, I guess.
Well, there's a great quote, and we probably should wrap this up, after this. But there's a great quote from Danny McBride, kind of detailing the approach of like rehumanizing the character and making him more. I think it's neat that McBride said, I want to be scared by something that I really think could happen. I think it's much more horrifying to be scared by someone standing in the shadows while you're taking the trash out. And like, who hasn't gotten the creeps when they're like alone in their house at night? Like, that's the feeling that you want to harken back to. So,
but yeah, guys, Jamie Lee Curtis is old as balls.
They made her look
no,
really
they made her
old.
look old. She still looks great.
I was going to say, because that promotional picture she put up,
oh, yeah.
I was just like, wow, Activia's doing you well.
Right, I was just going to say the yogurt was a good idea.
Because you still are smoking hot. Like, I'm sorry.
Yes, Brian, yes.
You can be my prom queen on prom night.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they did age her up quite a bit. And I like that they're kind of explaining things in this one. Like, I hated in the fourth movie where they're like, he needs to have the same mask he did before. So they're still selling that in Haddonfield, and thankfully Michael just grabs the same one as before and puts it on his face immediately. Like, this one, they bring him in his mask in the insane asylum for some reason. Oh. Obviously, we're not given all the answers because that's the trailer's just supposed to lower.
By the way, just as a point of note here, latex does not last that long.
Oh God, no!
I just want to make this because this has always been a sticking point for me with these movies that kind of jump forward in time. So they're using the same mask that he wore, like, in 1978. Latex starts to degrade after about 10 years.
Oh yeah, I bought a Michael Myers mask. One of the last times I went trick or treating as a kid, I went as Michael Myers, and that mask has disintegrated.
Oh, it turns to goo.
Yeah,
like it literally starts to break apart because it's latex. So whenever I say that, I'm just like, you assholes.
Yeah,
like seriously, you jerks.
But yeah, then they also make a big point in the trailer to say, wasn't Michael her brother? No, that's just rumor. Wink at the camera.
Is that from this trailer?
Yes.
I've waited on this trailer.
Yeah. This they did that. They did a wink and you miss it. It's like, ha. Remember, it's kind of like Star Wars and Legends. It's the same type of bullshit. And that's why I say that this is cheating. It's called, this movie has a lot of baggage. We don't want to acknowledge the baggage. Let's just start at the good parts, which was the first movie.
Yeah, it's true. And I mean, there have been some moments at some point, that have been enjoyable, but I kind of like that this is like a hard reset to the end of the first movie. So I feel like I want to watch the first movie and then go see this. I think that would be cool.
Well, it's interesting that we had the series and then we had the soft reboot with H2O, and then we had the actual reboot after Busta Rhymes' Halloween Resurrection.
Come on, you didn't like that?
I forgot about Busta
Trick or treat,
Rhymes.
motherfucker.
I forgot about it. Oh my God, so good.
And then we had a sequel to the reboot, and now we're getting a different reboot from the original universe.
Yep.
This is so fucked.
I think this is worse than the X-Men continuity.
Oh yeah.
Like leaps and bounds worse than X-Men. And X-Men is all over the place.
Like, what if you liked Halloween 4? Like, I guess it literally two separate directors have phased it out of existence.
Well, what if you liked Halloween 2?
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. What if you actually liked the original sequel to the first movie? Yeah. What if you were a fan of that? Then this movie is just a giant fuck you. So I get what they're doing. Personally, though, I think this is cheating. I'll still see it. It so far the trailer, I'm impressed by it. I'm kind of since Lane, you told me that they started filming and finished in like,
I'm telling you, that's the only thing I have a few concerns about. That's,
I believe you.
No.
What I'm saying is that I'm now scared about this movie because you told me that. Because that tends to lead me to the idea that they're just trying to shit this out so they get it into theaters
at Halloween
for October for the 40th year anniversary.
Well, I feel like that's not necessarily like a problem. Like I said, I am concerned about that. I am worried that they didn't take enough time. But at the same time, I mean, sometimes you can have a quality product and do it quick and call it a day. I mean, like they shot in South Carolina. So, I mean, they obviously were looking to cut costs. They probably just kept to a pretty tight schedule. But I don't know. The fact that Jamie Lee's in it, who's a baroness, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that.
Baroness?
Because she's a baroness because she's married to Baron Christopher Guest. Christopher Guest. She's married to Christopher Guest, who's a baron.
What are the noises you made with your mouth?
Baroness. That was I made a mistake and said Christopher Plummer. Whoa.
She loves those old raisinette balls.
Yeah, man. No. She's married to Christopher Guest, so she's a baroness, but she doesn't use the title in the States.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Well, it'll be interesting to be like, why does he come back again on Halloween? How did he get the same jumpsuit he had in the first movie? Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I am actually excited.
And they could still be editing. Just because the trailer's out doesn't mean they're not still
That's-
editing.
Oh, absolutely.
true.
Or scoring or doing a number of things. I mean, it's only June.
We'll be discussing that and discussing the franchise in whole in 2 separate episodes.
Very excited.
Come Halloween time. But let's take...
Well, I do want to mention one thing, okay?
Yes.
We do have our contest still going on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep, we forgot to mention the contest.
June contest.
June contest still going on, which I want to make this point here, okay? It's really easy. All you have to do is go to iTunes or Apple Podcasts, write a rate, subscribe to us, send us a screenshot of that review to cinemapsychoshow.com. Actually, the email address is cinemapsychoshow@gmail.com, okay? Because I saw one person recently who posted a really great review, but didn't screenshot it and didn't send it.
Oh, I see.
So I need to have that email
Make
so
sure you
that
send
I
it in,
can
guys.
contact you to get like your t-shirt size if you win. And
Brian is being
all that
very
stuff.
animated with his hands on a podcast.
Bobbly boobly boobly. Okay,
Sometimes it's too bad that we can't, you guys can't see, because sometimes we do funny
So
things.
contest is still going on. It's going on until around July 6th, and we'll that contest is for a grand prize of a Cinema Psycho Show shirt, the movie The Rake on DVD, as well as a Infinity War tote bag. Pretty cool prize if you ask me. Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, again, go to iTunes, go to Apple Podcasts, subscribe, write a review, give us a rate, screenshot it, send it to cinemapsychoshow@gmail.com.
Good luck.
Good luck.
You know, in a way, we're all winners because we saw Fateful Findings.
The prize that continues to make you feel prizeworthy.
So I gotta mention this first, okay? Originally, we were gonna do Double Down, okay? Because in Breenpocalypse, there are 4 horsemen, and we thought that we should start at the first of the 4 horsemen, which is Double Down. The problem is that Double Down, and honestly, this is for most of Breen's films, with the exception of Fateful Findings, are ridiculously hard to come by.
Yeah, the black-eyed alien that is Neil Breen has decided that you have to go to his website and pay an exorbitant amount of money for his movies.
Here's the thing. It's not even his website. He has a single website for each movie. So if you don't know the address to that website, because he doesn't publicize it, okay, there's no way you can find it. Like, I tried typing in doubledown.biz because he uses a dot.
He uses
it?
dot biz?
Yes.
Oh
Yes, he
my
does.
God.
And did you get sent to a sandwich made of chicken for bread?
I got sent to not Double Down, the movie.
Oh, my.
But that's the problem. It's that he's made it ridiculously hard to come by his films.
Yeah, which is weird because isn't the point to sell them?
Yes, you would think so. And the best part is, and I mean, I'm all in favor of supporting the filmmaker. Okay, I want to preface this by, but I'm sorry, I'm not going to spend $25 or $30 on a Neil Breen film.
That's way too much. I mean, there's brand new releases you can buy through your damn TV for $14.99.
You can't even. Okay, if I wanted to buy Infinity War when it comes out, it's not going to be $30.
It's not. No,
I
you
think
could buy Black Panther right now, and it wouldn't be that much.
I think when Civil War came out, like video on demand, when that first hit, I think I paid like $10.
But that's a video on demand. He doesn't even do that.
No, video on demand, iTunes,
Fateful
Amazon.
Findings was the only one that we could find that was video on demand. Now we may have to go out and we may have to purchase the other the other 3 horsemen.
I feel we owe it to
Breen,
our audience. Yeah, no, not to him. He can go eat a bag of dicks. This weird
a bag of them.
Emotionless psychopath. No, Elaine, as you put it, he has emotions, just the wrong ones.
No,
well, yeah, like,
he's not human.
Guys, there's so much to unpack here. Okay, so...
Do you want to preface who Neil Breen is? Because some people might not know who that is.
Well, I don't really know much about the guy, other than he made this terrible fucking movie.
I can't decide if he's a con artist or if he's just that megalomaniacally
because
like lost.
Because let's talk about the failure of a filmmaker. Like let's talk about the personalities that we know that failed as filmmakers. So we know obviously Tommy Wiseau is a pretty easy one. If you look at the story of Tommy Wiseau, it's actually kind of, it's a million times more inspiring than anything about Neil Breen, because Tommy Wiseau wanted the Hollywood dream but had no real talent.
Guys, I'm just grabbing some notes here. His career section on Wikipedia. Neil Breen did not attend film school.
No.
No,
yes.
shit.
No, that literally is the first sentence in Wikipedia.
It is. But, but like I was saying, if you look at the whole picture, I think that Tommy Wiseau started off trying to make art, and now he's profiting off of the fact that he sucks at not making good art.
Right. He's realized that his movie being so bad it's good is a positive.
It serves him.
And so, even though we know, and this has been outlined in The Disaster Artist and
the book and the movie,
that he started off wanting to make a really good movie. Like, in his mind, that The Room is a really good movie. Even though we watch it, we're just like, what the fuck is this?
Right. And what I can't tell about Neil Breen is, did he try to make art and fail, or is he shilling to us?
I don't think he's shilling. I think the man literally believes that these movies are amazing.
Yeah, well, because that's one thing I can't tell with some people, because when you fail so much, I think that a lot of people, if you're not necessarily good at the craft of something, you would be good at the theory, right? You see a lot of film professors who teach theory and they know what a good film is. They've maybe never made a film, but they know the mechanics. If you love film so much that you made one, how do you not know you're getting it so wrong? That's what I don't understand, because especially too when Neil casts himself in this, his acting, it's worse than Tommy Wiseau. I am going to just say that right now.
There's no checks and balances, though. The man plays a godlike entity in just about every one of his movies, and I think that's because how he legitimately perceives himself.
Jesus complex.
That and his fucking ass is out in every one of these fucking movies.
I know.
Sorry, I know that's just a little tangent there.
That's a tangent.
I'm upset by seeing his butt so much.
And his grundle.
But yeah, this is the problem when there's no checks and balances when you're a filmmaker, when you're the writer, director, producer, star of the movie.
And craft services.
Yeah. You don't realize, you think, I'm saying the lines without stuttering, so nailed it. You are completely oblivious, especially him, who has no idea how line delivery works. Tommy Wiseau at least tried to deliver the lines in the vein of which they were supposed to be said and failed. Neil Breen doesn't even deliver lines in a way that is appropriate for what he's trying to get across.
Here's the difference between Tommy Wiseau and Neil Breen. Tommy Wiseau surrounded himself with people who were competent in their craft. Okay? So Tommy Wiseau, he lived in Los Angeles. He could get a hold of people who worked on stuff, and
had a crap ton of money.
And a crap ton of money. Okay? But he was able to pull people who actually knew how to make a movie. It's just the fact that his directing and his performance and his storytelling were the flawed elements. It wasn't the technical merit. I mean, you and I both, we've all seen the Room. It's not technically bad, you know? I mean, there are parts where we're watching it going like, why did you put a green screen there? But that's
mostly Tommy's ineptitude.
But that's Tommy's ineptitude. In terms of, is it in focus? Is it, you know, are the shots composed in a way that makes sense? That is fine.
Yeah, and for the most part, I would say that Neil Breen got competent exposures, or his, you know, whoever shot it did. But
They couldn't frame a fucking shot.
I was just going to say, the composition is definitely where things fall apart. But, you know, if you compare that to, you know, certain parts of other independent, like, failed movies.
Like Birdemic.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's shots in Birdemic that aren't in focus.
Yes.
Well, the big problem is I think a lot of these guys like Neil Breen, like, they just hand the movie off to editors who immediately see, oh, this is a big pile of shit, so I'm just going to edit it as fast as possible and get my check.
Oh, see, here's the thing with that. I think that Neil Breen I think the man literally makes bad decisions for the edit. I think he's involved in the edit.
Oh, you think?
Oh, absolutely.
I think that explains a lot, though, because
because there's no way that I could see an editor who actually knows what the hell they're doing sit there and say, yeah, we should probably, you know, make it so that there are no actions that we cut on, you know, and have it so that pauses last ridiculous amounts of time.
Well, that's the thing. Like, there's so many ways in which this film fails. Mm-hmm. And I'd say, like, the strongest way is probably the acting. I mean, it's terrible from top to bottom. It's just the wrong choice every single time. But another big problem with this film, besides having actions that take place rather than a real film structure, is that certain scenes or certain shots are way too long, to the point where you know, when you watch enough films, you know, and I wouldn't say that I'm any kind of, like, you know, theologist or expert, but, like, there's certain things that you expect to feel in a film, and there's certain things that, like, shots make you feel. And when a shot goes on so long that you don't understand, like, you start to have different expectations for that shot, for that scene, for that film, when a shot on somebody's hands is, like, 20 seconds longer than it needs to be.
Well, and this is his third film, so he's had two
chance.
feature-length opportunities to, like, work this out, and he didn't. You know, and I mean, that's also a big thing of ego, where my double down
these whole
was
movies
perfect.
are all ego.
Yeah. I Am Here Now was perfect, so Fateful Findings is going to be perfect, and nobody will tell me otherwise.
And it's just weird to me, because, like, the style in which his acting is so incorrect and so bad.
There is no style.
That, well, because, you know, like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm not, you know, any kind of, like, you know, film theory, you know, acclaimed critic or anything, but I've been around this stuff a lot. I love films, and I'm not saying that even I'm a good actress, but I've been around this a lot. Like, I have friends. Like, I had a friend, you know, years ago, and she was mostly a stage actress, and you know, mostly opera, and so she was very large. Like, she, not as a person, I mean, like, her acting was large. Right. She's very skinny, actually. But, like, her movements were too big for the camera, and, like, that was something that I had to, like, talk to her about and be like, look, the camera's going to pick up everything. You don't need to get to the back row of the theater anymore.
And that's a consistent issue that a lot of theater actors have to deal with.
And it's something that you have to tame down. And I'll tell you what, I would take that every day, because they have a better understanding, and you can always pull somebody back. You can always make them, you know, a little smaller.
Well, I think the biggest problem that Breen has when it comes to acting, I don't think that it is his pool of people. I think it is the fact that Neil Breen does not know how regular humans act with each other.
Right. And that's my greater overall point. So, like, I mean, I've seen actors not get it right. Like my friend who was like, her movements were too large and whatnot, but she still seemed like she was acting. It still seemed like she was trying to get at some truth of the human experience. And that's where Neil Breen fails. Like, when he talks like an adjunct law professor, you know,
He talks like a
explaining some
robot.
slides. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like he doesn't seem like a real person. And I mean, we won't even get to the writing yet of how bad the lines are. But just I don't understand how he can be so interested in this stuff to the point where he casts himself in the film that he doesn't understand how wrong he's getting this.
Well, that beady-eyed devil, he
His eyes are black. I don't want to be petty about much of this because I'm trying to be constructive, but oh my God, his eyes are like black and dead.
It's like he's an alien who put on a human suit and then was put into a movie that he didn't want to be in, which is ridiculous because this is his vanity project.
And he cast himself in it.
But yeah, he delivers lines like he doesn't want to be there and he's doing someone a favor. Like, have you guys seen those videos where they have some kind of super AI write a love song? Like, it looks at 10,000 love songs and it finds for like similar words and patterns. And it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I love your heart is happy. And it's just, and it pieces together a song.
Right.
That's kind of like how Neil Breen delivers lines.
Yeah.
It's like he's a supercomputer that heard 10,000 movies and then just started, I can't believe you committed suicide.
I mean, it's true. Like, and just like I said, I when we were watching this, I was trying. I mean, not to reach for the tequila every 5 seconds, but I was also trying to just really understand why it fails, because I think that's what's interesting about these bad movies. You know, when we do like a pantheon, I want to know why, you know, it's shit.
I have heard, and I watched a couple different sources, reviews of Breen's films. What was the one? Your Movie Sucks was definitely one, which is hilarious, by the way. I definitely suggest checking out that particular episode. But there was one called Bad Movies. It's on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And they had the best analogy, but I'm going to add to it. Their analogy was that Neil Breen is, in essence, similar to a David Lynch, in that David Lynch creates really
That's what we said.
dream-like type films
Like
where you're
the
just like, what the fuck is going on?
Right, but with no talent.
Yeah, well, I'm adding to it. I believe that Neil Breen is a cross between Alex Jones, okay, and David Lynch. If Alex Jones and David Lynch were to have a mutant child, it would be Neil Breen.
But then it would also have to have a head injury.
Yes, dropped on its head.
Oh my.
Like, maybe that's what it is. Maybe he delivers lines like he had a severe head injury and no one is acknowledging it. Like, oh, that brick hit you in the head. Are you all right? Oh, I'm fine. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, should we just keep shooting then? He says he's okay. His nose is bleeding.
Yeah.
But too, I mean, like, I think, like, and I guess maybe this is just the fact that it's an ego project and he has the money to do it and he has, you know, the money to continue forward. But, you know, I've never really met anybody that was interested in film that wasn't good at some part of it. So maybe in that sense, you know, I'm lucky. You know, a lot of people that like this stuff probably aren't. But I don't understand how he could keep acting in his films when it is this unsuccessful.
I think he continues acting in these films because every one of these films is a fever dream for himself.
Yeah, and it's just weird. It's almost like his face can't express emotion.
It doesn't matter. He's the audience.
Yeah.
His own film. It's
true.
It's
for
true.
him.
He does them for himself.
Well-
That's true. And that's the difference because Tommy Wiseau, he did
Does
things
it.
for an audience.
Exactly.
He wanted an audience to love it. He didn't, I mean, it was a
Exactly.
lot of his own vanity, but he didn't just do it
And
for himself.
I think Birdemic is the same thing. I think James Nguyen wanted to make a movie for the audience.
Right. And Neil Breen wants to do it for himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah, Elaine, as we mentioned, you know, he portrays himself as some variation of God in
It's
just
true.
about every one of these movies.
He's an assassin. He is a hacker. He is a novelist that's successful. He is a billionaire. He is God. He is an android, and he is an alien.
I would settle for just one of those things.
And a mercenary. I forgot mercenary.
Preferably
Yeah.
the millionaire part.
And
that
that's
would be
mostly
great.
in Double Down. when-
Yes.
Yeah, he's hacking into Vegas and everything. Yeah, so of course, this is just to satiate a psychopath's ego.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
And guys,
So
he has another one coming out in 2018 here.
What? No way.
yeah.
What? Really?
Twisted.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
I
I
want to
think
watch
he's
more.
doing a Kickstarter for Twisted, I believe.
Oh my god.
Because, you know, he needs money.
Oh my God, do you guys want to like pull together to like the level where we can like buy it on demand?
Well, I guarantee he will not like give in to any of those like reward levels. Nobody will ever receive anything. He'll just take the money. Yeah.
Oh, really?
He'll take the money and run. I mean, he'll make the movie with it, but he won't give you any.
So do we want to dive into this shit?
I was going to say, we are probably like 20 minutes
like at
deep.
34 minutes.
we haven't even
talked about the movie.
I feel like we've discussed the movie a great deal.
We've talked about the man. Let's talk about the work.
Yeah.
All right. So if you guys watch this movie, dear listeners, if you watch this movie, I recommend checking out the Wikipedia page first.
Yeah.
Because it will explain a lot. I did not do this. I watched the movie cold, and John and I were very, very confused. Now, there was tequila.
Disoriented, I think, is a good way to
well, because
put
it
after
is,
seeing this.
there are elements of like dreamlike sorts of things.
Yeah.
So it's like hard to say.
Well,
so
I have some synopsises.
Synopses.
That's right. Oh,
Synopsis.
should we start with those?
I think we should start with these because there really wasn't a synopsis for Fateful Findings.
Oh, there is on Wikipedia.
Is there? Okay.
Oh yes. Wait.
Well, yeah.
It's a little brief.
Give me the.
It's brief and like so self-aggrandizing.
Okay, let's hear the official synopsis.
The official synopsis.
And then I went onto Reddit, onto the Bad Movies thread. Great section, by the way. And I asked, after I'd seen this, for people to give me the synopsis for the movie in 3 sentences or less. And I have some really good ones. But yeah, let's hear the official one.
So this is a single sentence one.
Of course.
And if you Google Fateful Findings, this is what the internet spits back at you. A boy develops amazing mystical powers and uses them as an adult to hack government databases.
That is so dumb.
I think it's from IMDb. And
he didn't use his
magical powers to hack the thing?
Yeah, that's how he's hacking into the thing.
No,
he
he's
never
using the
said
internet.
that. That's how he survives his car crash.
Yeah.
But he's also using the powers. Like, don't you guys
He's
remember?
not using the fucking powers.
When he went to the trash bag room all naked and shit, what do you think he was doing? He was using his powers to hack the databases.
Wait, is that what that was fucking
No,
supposed to be?
that was supposed to be inside of his little black stone thing.
Oh, well, it's garbage bags taped to the wall.
Well,
so.
yeah.
I thought it was just an excuse to show his ass.
That's what he was doing. He was hacking into the databases. What movie did y'all watch?
So there's that. Thank you, Neil, for that one. That's not what your movie is, but okay.
Also, Neil crack kills.
Seriously. So I had some really good ones here. First one is from our super fan Greg Foote. Okay, Greg had conspiracy, suicide, and a whole lot of laptops.
That's accurate.
That's pretty much accurate there.
There's a lot of laptops.
From there, on Reddit, we have... This is really good. Man has money. Man makes film. Film sucks ass. No, wait. That's a synopsis for Neil Breen's life.
That made me happy. That's a good one. That's a really good one.
Another good
You
one...
guys know he got his money from being an architect, right?
What, really?
Yeah, he is an architect.
Is he good at that?
You could conceivably go into a Neil Breen built building.
Is he good at the architect thing?
I don't know.
I'm assuming he is because he's able to get money enough to
finance these gems,
these crap balls.
You meant gem.
Yeah. So here's a good one. Fucking magic rocks, then the most brutal car crash ever. Murder and pill addiction leads to destroyed laptops and reunited relationship. I am the president of the banks. That's
amazing.
That's from user Space Asparagus.
Thank you, Space Asparagus. That's amazing.
Then the next one is Neil Breen is a megalomaniac with a camera. Fateful Findings take you on a wild journey to expose the global elites by hacking everything from the boisterous pool parties to garbage bag lined hell. Fateful Findings has everything you could have asked for.
So now the garbage bag room is hell?
It's hell now.
Okay.
Yeah, and the last one I want to leave you guys with is Dr. Manhattan battles Big Pharma and gets the girl.
Oh my god.
See, the best way to describe this movie, if you haven't seen it and you're just listening to our breakdown of it, is it's like you had some bad Mexican or something and you had nightmares all night and you're telling somebody about it the next day and you're like, oh no, this doesn't make sense. I know it seems a little disoriented and disjointed, but it was a dream. You're like, oh, I guess that makes sense. You know, I'm having a hard time remembering the exact order of things because this isn't a movie that makes coherent sense as a 3-act structure.
I have some semblance of it, and I'm going to skip over some stuff. So it basically starts off with us looking at a book in a storage unit.
Yeah, and I had just been in a storage unit right before I saw it, and I was like, what?
Yeah. It's looking at a big old book that someone is sprinkling glitter on. Like, literally, someone's sprinkling glitter.
That's what
on
it
the
was,
book.
yeah.
And the tracking shot, though, in that storage unit, like, you thought, oh, maybe this movie's going to be semi-competent.
That's the best shot in the whole film.
Yeah.
It's
Best shot in the whole
competently
film.
exposed. It's moving smoothly.
That was the one day that he had a professional cinematographer on set.
The
Yeah.
second unit director
Yeah.
was there that day.
And that was the one day that Neil said, hey, you know what? I'm going to be hands off on this shot. You have fun. And that was the one competent
the
shot.
single one.
The single one.
So yeah, it starts with that.
It starts
and
with
then
the book that no one knows why the book is there and what the hell it means.
The book never comes up again.
It does come up again in the desert towards the end of the movie.
It appears, but we don't know what it is or why it's there, what it means.
Yeah. And then it cuts to a young Neil Breen and a young girl that are skipping through the desert and woods. And they come across a magic mushroom.
Is this Arizona, by the way?
No, this is Nevada.
Nevada.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, that
he's
makes
based
sense.
in Vegas.
Okay.
So
That makes so much sense.
These two come across a magic mushroom,
Which is literally a portobello. Can we just talk about it?
Yes.
Like, it's a portobello from the fucking supermarket. All right, that's all I had to say.
that takes 10 to 20 seconds to reveal that it is a treasure.
And it's like just crap you buy at like a novelty shop.
Because why? Because fuck you, that's why.
Fuck you.
It's never explained.
No, it's
and
never
these kids
explained.
are perfectly fine. Like, this happens all the time. Oh, we made a mushroom turn into a treasure box again.
I don't know.
Yeah.
When I was like 7 or 8, I probably would have accepted that at face value. I don't know if all the things in the world that's something we could judge.
But you know what? I'm pretty sure that magic mushroom would have taken, a little shorter than 20 to 30 seconds to reveal
agreed.
the treasure.
It took forever.
The point is that inside of this magical treasure is a black stone that is hell, and a bunch of beads. And the girl decides to write in her notebook that she's going to keep for the next 30 years. It's a magical day.
Yeah.
And says it's a magical day. She says it twice.
And then she writes it down.
And she writes it down
in her journal.
Neil takes the stone.
In adult handwriting.
Doesn't date it.
Doesn't date it.
Just it's a magical day. Written but awkwardly in the middle, like in slanted.
Yes.
In beautiful adult handwriting.
Yes. And she takes the beads and makes a bracelet out of it. And then it cuts to her leaving. And these kids literally have the most awkward way of saying goodbye. They've never said goodbye, ever. This is the first time.
And this is like 35 years ago, and they're all like modern cars on the street.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
From the year the movie was made.
Yep.
Didn't you know that existed?
Yeah, all cars from 2012.
So they say goodbye in the most awkward way, and then we flash forward to the future or the present. You don't really know.
Present day.
You don't really know. And
Because, fuck you. That's why.
That's right. You don't need to be grounded in any type of time. So we get a shot of Neil Breen looking off into the distance because I guess that's what he wanted. And he's just walking and not talking on his cell phone to his wife who is talking to him.
He looks like Neil Breen looks like the kind of guy you avoid on the bus.
I think I would avoid Neil. Okay, remember how we were talking about how Danny McBride said the Halloween movie is...
Oh, yeah, being creeped out in the shadows?
No, he wants to have a creepy guy in the shadow.
Yeah.
Neil Breen is the guy in the shadows, okay?
Neil Breen is creepy AF. It is true.
So anyway, Neil's not talking on his cell phone while his Eastern European wife is talking to him. And he gets run over by a car.
Okay, I know that obviously getting hit by a car takes a little precedent on this, but this is a problem that I have in movies. Why don't they have someone offset actually call the person so they're not just faking it with their lines and pretending that somebody else is on the... Especially when they're bad actors, because they don't put the right kind of pauses in. They don't have any kind of facial
It's true.
recognition that they're actually speaking to somebody.
Well, let's be honest here. This was not a take to go with her talking.
Yeah.
Okay, this was called... We have the shot of Neil walking with a cell phone. Maybe we'll put that in with her talking to him. So none of these shots were meant to go together. Like that's the whole point I'm trying to get across. Yeah. Is that this is all just a cobbled mess.
Well, and then Neil wakes up in a hospital room.
Yes.
No, the hospital room is like carpeted, and it's clearly
That's
not
his
really a
house.
It's like
hospital.
his basement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
His
it's
house.
seriously it's so ridiculous, guys. It's so ridiculous.
he's in a fucking coma, and apparently he's got this Phantom of the Opera, type of dressing on his face. He's bleeding.
With a face mask that doesn't even do anything.
Well, he's got the cannula.
Yeah.
Like the oxygen
over the bandages.
bandages.
We noticed that too. We were freaking
It
out.
literally serves no purpose.
It serves no purpose at all. And everyone's just like, oh my God, I hope he's okay. His drunk friend this is the only time he's not drunk, is like crying at his bedside. We still haven't really been introduced to who these people are.
No.
Like, this is already
we never
like,
really do get introduced to it.
Well, there's
Kinda.
no real act or like any kind of structure.
Yeah. So from there, Neil Breen has that magic stone thing in his hand that apparently wakes him up. And
Because that's what he found as a kid. Like he
that's
had
right.
that as a
He's
kid.
had it in his hand for the past 30 years.
Apparently.
Just in case.
It's been a magical 30 years.
It has been a magical 30 years. So he wakes up, and this is our shot of his ass.
First shot of
First
it.
shot of his ass.
There's
Yeah,
what,
through the
six
what, through
ass
the
shots?
I lost count.
I heard 4.
I went blind.
I heard 4 ass shots in this. So, yeah, he stumbles forward, and we then cut to inside of his house. So we don't... He apparently just walked out of the hospital bare-assed and walked down the street and into his house.
With
We didn't-
bandages
we
on
didn't
his
see that.
face, yeah.
We didn't see that at all. Thanks, fucker. So he ends up going into his shower, and then he's bleeding all over the place.
Yeah.
And I will give this and Your Movie Sucks pointed this out too. That is some very convincing blood. Congratulations, Neil Breen.
He did the makeup.
He did the makeup.
He
Good
did the
job on the
makeup.
blood.
The blood was actually not bad.
Good job on the
Is
blood.
there anything he didn't do on this film?
No.
He
Yeah.
made the club sandwiches
There you
for
go.
catering. Too. I'm just kidding. There's no catering.
There's no catering.
He bought the bagels.
Yeah, so he's in the shower, and this is where we get our first shot of Neil Breen's gangly ass body.
Yeah. Well, in his mind, ripped to shreds.
Oh yeah,
body.
absolutely. And his wife comes in, and they start like. Again, this is just weird. It's his version of making out and having sex in the shower by them just kind of not dancing in the shower. She's literally just turning around with him,
Yeah,
covering his
well-
dick and balls.
And the wet nightgown like revealing
Yes.
her own ass.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's our first time we ever see how Neil Breen views women.
Well, I mean, he's a misogynistic piece of shit. Like that's not hard to imagine. Most of these filmmakers are, where they treat women as objects rather than characters.
He's just not
But this
very
is-
clever with his ability to hide that.
But this is also a huge failure of like human behavior. Like if John was in a car accident and he was just like home from the hospital in the shower, I'd be calling 911 and be like, we need the ambulance back. He needs to go back to the hospital. I wouldn't just like,
You wouldn't just say, "Hey, let's go in the shower and have some sex."
I mean, I love you, honey, but I wouldn't just dance in the shower with you. I would be getting you medical
And
help.
especially since I'm bleeding an excessive amount.
And that I don't understand because like, yeah, the blood looked good, but why was there so much of it? His head was bandaged completely and the bandage was still on. The bandage itself wasn't that bloody.
No,
And
it was.
it's just running down his leg?
Because that was because of the grip or PA that had the gallon of blood that they had to drop over his leg.
Right?
That's what it was.
They were probably in the shower.
Oh,
with
they
him
were in
while
the
he
shower.
was butt-ass naked.
Oh yeah,
Like
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Breen.
You know he didn't wear like the courtesy sock.
Yeah, Mr.
No.
Breen, we are only seeing your like up to your knee. You don't have to have your dick out.
He's like,
Please,
"You don't-
sir.
You don't
Please,
understand.
sir."
You don't understand. This is for method.
I can't believe
I can't believe you told me to wear underpants.
Oh my God. That
So
was genius.
So
both of
yeah,
you.
we then at that point, I believe we're introduced to the friends. Like, don't we
Yeah,
get a cut
but-
to the friends?
Well, we're not introduced to them through the characters. It just cuts over to
Yeah.
them. And they're fighting and the guy's like a
The
drinker.
guy's a drinker. He wants to bang his wife, and his wife's just like, "My back hurts. I've had a long day at the bank."
Does she work at the bank
She
too?
works. Everybody works at the bank.
Okay, that's how they're all friends.
Okay,
All right,
everybody works at
got
the
it.
bank. So yeah, she's like, "My back hurts," and of course he mentions that he needs to she needs to take care of her stepdaughter. So that
Right.
means like it's his daughter, right? Like,
Or
No,
it could
she
be,
calls it. I think she says your stepdaughter, doesn't she?
no, the guy says you take care of your stepdaughter.
So it's his kid. Oh, that's
yeah.
weird. I got it backwards when I was watching it. Again, kids, please read the
Or-
Wikipedia page.
or it could be her stepdaughter that she got custody of, and now she's dating somebody else. Which,
But you know what would be nice?
Maybe.
Is if that shit was explained.
Yes, sir.
You know?
or he flubbed the line.
Yeah.
And nobody caught it.
Well, here's the thing. Later on, when he gets shot,
Yeah.
and the daughter sees it and reacts, 10 seconds later, she says, "Dad."
Yeah, I just thought that was shitty writing, but I noticed that too.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, this character has a drinking problem.
Oh, yeah.
And guess what? It goes nowhere and serves no purpose.
It serves no purpose. None at
No.
all.
And the thing is, it's not even something that's just kind of in the background. Like he has like 1 or 2 more beers than everybody else. He is actively fucking
Oh,
shit
my
up.
God.
He is. He's always
like pounding
messing things
booze out
up.
the bottle.
He's-
He's knocking things off the table.
Knocking corn off the cob and wings on
He's
the
a
ground.
hot salted mess.
And he's also like putting the moves on Neil Breen's wife. I mean, I'm assuming that's his wife, mainly because we don't see her head and we don't see his head. We just see
what is
bodies.
up with that, guys? Like, there was a lot of
There
that
was a pool
shit.
party scene.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like just shots of feet,
Yeah.
or just shots from like the waist down. Like that was an odd stylistic choice.
But I think I'm jumping around here, okay, a little
just
bit.
a little bit. I mean, it's all right.
So to make a long story short, because honestly, trying to summarize this whole movie would be about 2 hours or 3 hours.
It's very
long.
convoluted, guys.
Neil Breen's a writer, a successful novelist who has a master's degree in computer science and apparently doesn't like being a successful novelist at all. He hates books.
I mean,
He loves broken laptops.
He
that.
loves his laptops that don't work.
oh my god, he has double laptops, guys, and neither screen is on at any
Yes.
point. And you know, he just went to some like surplus store.
His buddy Chuck.
That's what
Broken
John.
laptops
Craigslist.
are us. Yeah.
Craigslist.
John literally said that every single time it came up. He was like, "Oh, he went to see Chuck again."
Well, no, you got to understand. He had a crap ton of laptops from filming Double Down. So he's like, well, I guess I need to use these laptops. I busted up one to make this. I am here in ... now for the scenes where he's got
second movie.
microchips all over him. So he had the surplus laptops and had to use them. But in essence, he doesn't like being a successful novelist. He instead wants to hack. And of course, he uses the term hack. The governments and corporations of the world to reveal their secrets.
Because I guess when
They're
you're an evil corporation
secrets.
or evil government group, you just keep a file of all of your most nefarious
That's right.
things. Like, well, this is triple password protected. No one's
That's
getting
right.
in here.
Yeah, I mean,
right.
you just keep them in
Except
one
for that
spot
Neil
so you know where they
Breen.
are.
International man of mystery.
Yes,
But at the same time this stuff is going on, his wife develops a drug problem.
She's
Actually,
taking his pills.
She's taking his pills out of the toilet.
yeah.
that was weird. Again, that's not how that works because
No.
they would have dissolved. Like that was the first thing John said. He was like, they would be powder.
Well,
I've
be
dropped
powder.
an ibuprofen in the sink
It
while the
starts
water's
dissolving.
running. Yeah, it's just like you
'Cause-
just let
Dude,
it
if
go.
your hands are wet, that shit smears everywhere because they're
Yes,
not coated. Usually.
Then you put it in the garbage can and you wash that pill residue off your hand.
I guess
Mm-hmm.
she's not concerned about the fact that there could be shit or piss in that toilet because
it looked like a pretty clean toilet.
It did look clean,
I'm
John,
assuming
I'm with
that
you.
Neil Breen doesn't have an asshole, so he's not pooping in that.
well, there was
How
only
does Neil Breen poop?
Through his fingers.
Questions that I need the answers
There was
to.
only 2 clean things in this movie. The majority of the exposures in that toilet bowl.
That's right.
But everything else is just mucky and dirty.
Right.
It's
So,
true.
So she's got a drug problem. She's eating pills and that sort of stuff. And then we get to a pool party. Because I know I'm jumping around a lot, but I'm just trying to.
Well, we
move across
originally had
here.
the dinner party with the friends where we get introduced to
Oh,
the guy's
yes.
The
drinking
dinner
problem.
party with absolutely no food.
no food,
absolutely no
at all.
food.
And, okay, I know some of you don't come for the nitpicky of the technical film stuff, but I just have to acknowledge this. They did a couple dolly shots around the table, and then they had lockdown shots. And then I think just to show that they did the dolly shots, they'd cut to them for about 2 seconds. And by the time you got any sense of the moving shot that broke the 180 rule. They would go back to the lockdown shot, and people would be talking back and forth, and then the dolly shot again. It was madness.
It has already been established from Wikipedia that Neil Breen did not attend film school, so he does not know what the 180-degree rule is.
And it was weird because, like, around the table, I noticed this, like, in this particular dinner party scene. He wouldn't break the 180 rule outright, but it'd be really close to breaking it, and it would be really hard to get a sense of the room or who was talking to each other, especially when, like, the dad and the daughter were talking to each other because they were right across the table from each other.
The daughter with the porno quality acting,
and she was seducing Neil Breen because apparently Neil Breen is just that sexy.
Well, I mean, the acting of her was really just kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Because she's like, I'm really hungry for dinner.
And, like, what a gross, like, side story of, like, he's so desirable, he has to, like, even, like, his friend's kid wants to bone him, but she's underage. Like, what a yucky
like
side
16.
story.
She's like, well, I mean, she's obviously, like...
The actress is obviously 18 at least.
18 or older. But yeah, everybody wants to fuck Neil Breen.
Yeah, and it just,
he
like...
looks like an
gross...
orangutan trying to pretend to be human. You know what I mean? Like, he looks like some kind of, like, monkey. I don't know.
Like I said, what a yucky situation.
No
just because,
woman
like,
wants
that's
him.
such a disgusting storyline of, like,
It was really
your
weird.
friend's underage daughter has to have you.
And apparently this isn't the
Gross.
first time either. Like, he says, you can't do this anymore. Like, what?
But it's weird because, like, if the whole point of that is to show, like, how focused he is on, like, his hacking and he's ignoring all of these other distractions and stuff, we never really know if he, like, boned her or not, because isn't that her in the stone with him a couple of times?
I don't think that's her.
But why is it a brunette? It's a brunette, and, like, his wife was vaguely redheaded, and the new girl's, like, blonde.
She was blonde. In the
new girl's blonde.
You said that while I watched it, but that was a blonde-haired woman.
That was a blonde-haired woman.
Is it that thing with the dress where some people see some colors and some people see others? Maybe that's what it was.
Yeah, that was a blonde.
Because she looked like a brunette to me. But again, in this particular storyline, which I think is disgusting, the side boob, so much side boob, which I think is disgusting of, like, you know, your friend's underage kid. But we never get a clear idea whether he bopped her or not.
It's Neil Breen, so he probably did.
But, like, we're supposed to be on his character's side, so he's actively sabotaging his own character by intimating that he has sex with, like, a 16-year-old.
Don't you understand his hacking of the government and corporate secrets makes up for his banging underage friend's daughter?
He's yucky AF, okay?
The secrets, that is actually a line from the movie.
And again, I usually try to be very, you know, constructive and, like, not catty, but, like, that dude is so gross looking. Like, he just makes my skin crawl. Yeah. And you know how sometimes we're like, oh, he looks like a pedophile, blah, blah, blah. He doesn't look like a pedophile. He just looks creepy. He just creeps me out. Like, I feel like he's the kind of guy that would definitely have women in the basement.
Oh, yeah.
He looks
So
like
gross.
a 12-year-old pug went to a Zoltar machine and made a wish to be human.
John, you always win. Why do you always win?
I can't believe I'm a human now. I can't believe. So, guys, let's recap up to this point. He is a computer hacker.
Yeah.
He is breaking all the secrets of everything in the world.
Yes.
He has magical powers. Women can't resist him.
Yeah, bibbity bopping his friend's daughter.
He's practically God.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. We haven't even gotten to, like, the good stuff yet.
This is, like, halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
And this is how this man perceives himself.
I'm already tired.
So we then cut to a pool party. Okay. And at the pool party, we're introduced to the doctor who helped him. Not really. The female doctor who carries with her a book that has "It's a Magical Day" written in it.
Well, she has the bracelet too.
Dun, dun,
we
dun.
see her in the hospital right after
She's
accident.
the doctor.
Well, guys, this is one of the actually few nice touches they did at the beginning of the movie. This female doctor says, "I'm not his actual doctor."
Yes.
Which does seem like an odd line, but it's because turns out, yes, she is the little girl from the opening of the movie. And if she had been his doctor, she would have seen the chart and knew his name. Now, my last name is Woolliscroft, which is bizarre enough that some people might go, oh, I bet I know that person.
Right.
But what if his name, I don't know if we get his name in the movie.
No.
But what if it's Smith? Like a Dan Smith? you don't automatically assume that's your buddy growing up. There's lots of Dan Smiths.
And obviously, you wouldn't take a look at Neil Breen and say, oh, yeah, you know what? He really had a rough life. Yeah. Those 20 years.
They are 20 years apart.
Yes.
His ego couldn't allow
disgusting.
him to have
It's
a
so
woman of the
bad.
same age.
Yeah.
He wanted a hot young thing, but they are the same age.
Neil Breen only gets hot young things.
Yeah. She's 29 and he's 54.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be the same age.
Yep. That's right. In Neil Breen land, that's how it works. Yeah. Okay. So they're at this pool party, and he's basically putting the moves on the doctor after he realizes it's his friend from childhood.
Yeah,
in
his
front
wife
of his
ceases
wife,
to be
by
of
the way.
importance, yeah.
Oh, yes. And she gets him like crappy look. She gives her like crappy looks. She's like, ew. It's like, you're flirting in front of your wife. Jesus fucking Christ, man.
It's gross.
Yeah.
He's so ridiculous.
At this point, it starts to all go downhill. In essence, the boob lady friend of Neil Breen's, the blonde one who works at the bank and has a sore back and won't have sex with her husband, the alcoholic, gets fed up.
Look like? He looked like an actor. Oh, shit,
Well,
I'll
he
think
was an
about
actor,
it.
technically.
I
True,
mean,
I'll think
I'll
about
be honest with you, I thought he was the most competent actor in the whole film.
He probably just was drunk.
He probably was drunk.
Wouldn't you be?
Method acting.
But he gets shot and killed by his wife in front of his Ferrari because that's all he does is work on the Ferrari's mirror.
And it's probably Neil Breen's car. And he's like, I
absolutely.
want to get my car in the movie.
Get my car in the movie, please. So he dies, and she places the gun next to him to make it look like suicide. And Neil Breen gives the best, this is his Oscar moment here. When he's holding his dead friend covered in blood, he's like...
Well, no. Covered in blood because he actively grabs some of the blood
and puts it on his face.
Yeah, and they don't cut around it.
No.
Or try to do another take.
There was no other
yeah.
take. There was no coverage. Come on. You know how this was.
Seriously.
It's like blading in wrestling. Like,
That's
they
right.
always cut away if they know the guy's going to cut his head so you don't see it. They don't want the magic.
Oh, there's your wrestling reference
There
for
you
the
go.
episode.
There you go. But he basically says, I can't believe you committed suicide.
Can't believe you committed suicide.
And he says it like
can't
10
believe it.
times.
Can't believe you committed suicide.
And this is what I mean when I say this man does not know how humans work. Like, I think the man is an alien.
Why was this person in the movie? Why did he have a drinking problem? Why did he have problems with his wife? Why was he killed? What was the purpose of his death? None of this is explained in any way at all.
Nope. Not at all.
None of this movie is explained in any way at all.
And then we flash forward to continuing problems with the wife, who's spiraling downhill with her drug problem, and then has sex with Neil Breen as he throws up all of his papers and books and things like that. And then they hate each other again. And then she kills herself with pills.
Was this before or after he passed out on his laptops and spilled coffee all over them?
Oh my God, that stressed me out so much. It like splashed on his face. Why would you do that? Why would you do that to a laptop? It's ridiculous.
Okay, it is because of the fact that the accident caused Neil Breen's mutant powers to manifest and hurt his head. Okay, that is it. That's all there is to it. So,
and what are his powers?
He can pass between shit.
What?
That's true. He can.
That's
he can
all
pass
he
between.
can do. That's
yeah,
all he
it's
can
true.
do. And so, if you are following along with me, Neil Breen's wife.
I saw this movie yesterday.
Commits suicide.
You're still with us, y'all.
Neil Breen's wife kills herself with pills, and this is at the same time that Neil Breen is boning his friend from childhood.
Maybe he's
it's getting
guys. I got
convoluted.
it. He's a sociopath.
Yes,
he has
is.
no human emotions.
Oh,
except
that explains-
lust and greed and anger.
That explains his acting.
Because he's just like, yeah, my friend from childhood's back now, so I'm going to start fucking her, and I don't care that my pill-addicted wife is suicidal.
Yeah.
I'm just going to get whatever I want.
Apparently.
So she dies, and within 5 seconds later, he's got his new wife.
She hasn't even been embalmed yet. And
No.
he's with the new lady.
He's with the new lady.
Yeah.
Yep.
And reveals to her that she's
still in the
hacking
fridge.
secrets.
She's still in the fridge of the morgue.
Yeah,
She hasn't even
Ew.
thawed out yet.
Ew.
Guys are gross.
So he reveals to her again that he's hacking the secrets. He says he's hacking government and corporate secrets about 20 times in this movie to people and to the audience. And we're just like, we get it. We don't see you doing this.
No, you're looking at old thesauruses,
That's right.
and your computers are off.
Yes.
While you're working.
So he talks about how the government might know now that he's doing this and that she should be careful. So she gets abducted by,
The most incompetent kidnapper I've ever
Absolutely.
seen.
like, literally the worst special forces person ever. Okay. This guy,
is he special forces?
I don't know. He's supposed to be the government, so you're guessing that he might be something like that. But he basically grabs her in broad daylight, and then
we have to talk about this.
What?
He puts out fucking hydrogen peroxide. That is a hydrogen peroxide bottle. It is not fucking chloroform. Sloppy work. And he
Is-
looks like
is
just
that-
a 22-year-old asshole in a
okay,
hoodie.
was
and a ski
that
mask.
really the one part that you were just like, you know what, this movie went downhill in that part?
I mean, there's things that make me upset that make no
Guys,
sense. I will admit that.
There is bigger picture issues that we've been hitting on, but a movie like this is riddled with 7,000 small things.
Oh, yeah.
And that is one of them.
Yeah,
That's what'll
Yeah.
kill you. But it was so clearly a $1 bottle of hydrogen
Yes.
peroxide that you could get in fucking Target.
Yes.
Sorry, it just pissed me off.
It's okay. It's okay. This
Sometimes
is a safe place. Okay.
Sometimes I get angry.
So Neil Breen spends about 5 minutes leaving a message on his new wife's phone saying,
God, it's so
saying,
God, I can't. It's
I
so
went
bad.
into the house and you were not there. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? I'm not even kidding. That is
It's
his
seriously-
delivery
it's-
of his lines.
Oh my God, it's like someone taught him how to project, but
Yes.
not emote.
And I guess he gets the idea of where she's at. Like, I don't know how he finds out where she's at.
He
but
read the script.
He read the script. You're assuming there was a script.
It's cute. It's cute.
So-
really.
Jumbled bunch of mess on like napkins and
with
it's
a
cute
drawing
how he
paper,
assumed
like
that,
a
isn't
drawing
it?
in the corner.
my ass
my
and
ass.
an arrow.
Oh
shower.
my God.
God. So he goes to I don't know, some like almost looks like a warehouse or something like that, and finds the inept guard like passed out in front of the location where the wife is. Okay? And he's
Right.
like, he grabs him and he's like, where are you? Where's she at? Where is she at? Where is she at? And, like, this is what he's doing. And he knocks him out with a beer bottle that
Yes.
he randomly has. And then can't get into the
He
door.
got it from his buddy when he committed
That's
suicide.
right. That's right. This will come in
This is a
handy.
deep movie, yeah.
Yeah. So he realizes the wife is inside the trailer and can't get in because of locks. So he uses his magical stone powers to transport into the area where the wife is at.
No, that's the mistress.
Well, no, that's his wife now.
Oh, did they get married?
Oh, it's assumed.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
How'd I miss that, guys?
Yeah,
Wow.
first wife dies.
First
and
wife
6.5 hours later,
Yes.
he goes to the courthouse.
That's right.
Classy.
That's right.
Classy.
Well, my first wife has died, so I shall now make you my new wife.
It's you or the 16-year-old who I said can't swim in my pool.
So he transports the
Bad.
wife out of the trailer, and then at that point it gets really bizarro because it becomes Paranormal Activity, as your movie sucks. Put it perfectly. Like, I can't even make it any better. He's absolutely right. Where shit is like moving on his walls, weird jizz ghost things are flying all over the
I
screen.
did enjoy the jizz ghosts.
And you know, Neil Breen wakes up and decides he's got to go to the desert. Just
As you
Like you
do.
do.
as you do. He needed a desert shot in this movie anyway. We really haven't had any. You know,
And that's kind of
True.
his thing. It's one
It's
of
his thing.
his benchmarks.
you know why? Because it's a free location.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
So-
why a lot of people shoot in the woods.
That's right.
And things like that, yeah.
So he goes to the
Yep.
fucking desert in which that fucking book is there, and it disappears, and he screams. Mm-hmm. This is all in the movie, by the way. And while this is all happening, you're getting these shots of black feet
Yeah, and if you're confused right now,
We were too.
So are we.
Yep. If you're
were too.
confused, you are on the same
We were
page
too.
as us.
So he screams in the desert while these obviously his feet with like business shoes on start having blood dripping all over them, and you're just like, what is going on here? Like what is this? And then it cuts to him in front of City Hall or the Supreme Court, and
But it was just a still image of a important political looking building.
yes, and
This is the biggest mind effer of the
if
entire
you're wondering
movie.
why I'm not giving too many details, that's because I started fast forwarding through this part.
No, this is amazing.
This
So
is the
we
part you have to watch.
We need to break this down.
Okay,
So yeah, he shot this on green screen.
the green screen looks good. I'll give him that. He did a good job keying.
But it's not the right size. Like if
No,
he's in
it's
front of the
not.
building, like he's almost as large as the building. It's insane.
He doesn't know perspective.
Yeah,
It's insane.
And if he's that close, like to the lens, it should have been blurry. But he wanted to obviously use that stock image he got, which he blew up too large.
Yep. He showed
He
it.
stretched to fit the frame.
Showed it.
And then he's announcing all the government's like secrets.
But he's not really announcing any secrets. He's just saying, I have on this thumb drive that you could very easily steal
Yeah.
all the secrets of the government and the corporations.
Like, okay. Like,
Okay.
Yeah. And everybody's like applauding in this canned applauding sound that is like 3 seconds long.
Well, it's 5 people.
Yeah.
And I know
And-
that
but it's,
because
like,
I looked at the
overly
credits. And there's only 5 people for crowd at government thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and then it's supposed to be hundreds of people. You're guessing until they cut to the crowd shot, which they didn't even really need to do.
No.
And it's like 5 people. And while he's announcing all of this in front of the same background, because remember this is a keyed out green screen background. They don't even try to change the look of the shot so that somewhere down the line are people fucking killing themselves.
no, seriously, it's so baffling.
He is outing them to thunderous applause.
Yes.
It's
No
like a
one
mass
is panicking.
murder.
These people are grabbing guns and shooting themselves in the face.
The first is the president of the bank.
of the bank.
Yep. We don't know which one.
Who
Just
says,
the bank.
I resign today as the president
Of
the
the
bank.
bank.
And then he takes a gun and shoots himself in the head.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't
And
understand.
everybody's like, yay! Murder, death, blood everywhere.
And this is all intercut with Breen talking again about the government conspiracies. And then it cuts to a senator who decides that she's going to kill herself with her
Second
car.
But she did it wrong.
But she did it wrong.
And
Because
that
she
one,
closed her windows.
Yes.
yeah, you're
And
not
like-
going to die that way.
And like,
Not going to work.
and I feel like we can't talk about this scene without talking about like the recent like very high profile celebrity suicides. You know, we just lost Anthony Bourdain
Oh, right.
and Kate Spade killed herself. I mean, I'm this is important stuff to talk about. You know, if this is supposed to be some triumphant moment for the hero of our movie, even before these high profile suicides, it still would have been in horribly poor taste. But even, I mean, now to watch it after that, like it makes me want to throw up.
He's an emotionless killer.
Listen, let's be honest here.
Sociopath.
Breen thinks he is a god hero. Everybody else, corporations, are bad.
Right.
Which, I'll give you. I don't like corporations either. I don't
No.
really care for most people in government either.
We talked about this with our
But
Michael Moore episode.
I'm not gonna say I think they should kill themselves and
And,
then
like,
applaud.
Rejoicing in them killing themselves. Like, that is fucked up,
Yeah.
guys.
Well, no,
It's
he
real
doesn't even
fucked
rejoice
up.
in it. The thing is, he's delivering these monotone lines. We need to live in a world where there's transparency. And then some guy shoots himself in the face.
Seriously.
And he just keeps talking.
in front of tons of people.
I'm surprised there isn't blood splatter on his face. This person shot themselves no more than 5 feet from him.
Well,
and he doesn't break stride.
Let's go down through who gets killed. Okay, the bank president shoots
President
himself.
of banks.
The senator kills herself.
Senator
with
lady.
Senator lady kills herself with asphyxiation in her car.
Incorrectly.
Incorrectly.
Yeah, incorrectly. You couldn't even get that right. And then what happens? Pharmaceutical guy.
Yeah, he offs himself.
He
In the
hangs himself, right?
It's almost like you walk up to that area to shoot yourself. Because like he kills himself in the exact same spot as the other guy with the exact same gun.
Yes, he does. Well,
weird.
he hangs himself, doesn't he? Yeah, he
One of them
hangs
hangs themselves.
There
One
was
of the guy
two.
hangs
There were
himself.
two people that shot
Two
themselves,
guns,
right?
Okay.
Yeah, there were two.
But there was a hanging.
and a hanging and
And then asphyxiation. And then with the insurance guy in the same car, by the way, that the senator lady killed herself, takes a bunch of pills.
Oh, totally.
couldn't he be held culpable for some
Oh,
of these,
yeah,
these
he
deaths?
is. He is culpable.
Absolutely.
But hey, his next movie is going to be going on about the police, okay? So
Oh boy.
and the last one is a guy who's in a bathtub who cuts his wrists.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what he did, but,
Yeah.
he must have been some government or corporate person.
We're supposed to be reveling in these
Yes.
people's like brutal killings of themselves.
Yeah. And then at the end of the movie, you see Breen's still talking, by the way, through this whole thing.
Yeah.
He
talks, but-
doesn't break stride. There
Uh-uh.
are people that killed themselves in front of him, and he just keeps talking, and the audience doesn't care.
No, the audience
The
doesn't care.
10,000 or 5, depending on
5.
Yeah,
It's 5.
and they're just like, oh, somebody killed themselves. Yay! Let's
Yay.
just. Who cares?
Yeah. Well,
Life means
Well,
nothing.
too, I mean, in his speech, like, it just baffles me how he can talk for so long and say nothing. He says nothing of importance.
the man did nothing in this movie.
Yeah, it's incoherent rambling.
Yeah. So, the last bit before we bring this
Bring this baby home.
first Breenfinity stone
That-
in our Breen
Breenfinity Stone.
That scene
Breenfinity
has to be
Gauntlet.
seen to
Get
believe
out of
it.
here.
a special forces assassin puts him in his sights, and you think, oh great, it would be so good if he gets shot.
I thought he was going to get shot and like collapse
yeah.
on the flag.
I thought too.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And that assassin gets killed somehow by someone. It's
Yeah.
never explained.
No.
It's just bang. Oh, the assassin's dead. Breen's still alive because he's the hero.
See, I describe this as you're explaining a dream to somebody, and you say the person asks you, "Who killed the assassin?" I don't know. It was a dream.
It was a
just
dream.
a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah.
Exactly.
None of this makes any sense.
It is baffling because the guy just like keels over the
Just keels
assassin
over.
and he must have been shot from behind based on like the blood stain in his skull, but like you don't see like a cut
Nope.
shot of who killed him
Nope.
or like who saved him or any of that.
3 people have died during this speech. 3 people have died. 3 gunshots have gone off, and no one cares.
No one's called the police.
Oh God.
Did you imagine Bobby Kennedy? And now we're gonna go on and win there, and just get shot, and everybody just moseys on, just lets him die.
It's like no big.
Hey, look, somebody shot Bob.
And then, whoever shot him shoots himself.
Yeah.
And then, the cook that's also in the, there shoots himself.
It was like, hey, Mrs. Kennedy, do you want us to pull over the motorcade, go to the hospital? No, it's such a nice day. Let's keep driving. Jack would have wanted it that way.
Jack would have wanted it that way.
It's so horrible. Yeah, but that's Fateful Findings.
There it is.
There it is,
We
folks.
just
Guys.
let you know.
I mean, we've watched some movies that were okay, like that Joe Piscopo movie.
Yeah, Dead Heat was
Dead Heat
more than okay.
Was bizarre, but it wasn't terrible. This might be the most mind-boggling movie we've ever seen, and we didn't even talk about his witch therapist.
No,
No, we didn't even know who she was at first.
There's
It was
no
very
need to bring
upsetting.
that up.
Oh,
It was very
I have
upsetting.
so
Witch
many questions though.
therapist.
Why they shot it in the corner of a popcorn wall
With-
with nothing there?
with 2
and why are they
folding
so
chairs.
close? Yeah.
With 2 folding chairs and no couch for us to know.
And why is she so terrifying looking? Anyways, yet this movie defies all logic and reason.
I imagine that if you ever wanted to torture someone, you would just put this movie on
It's
on repeat.
It has the incompetence of Tommy Wiseau. It has the production value or a Birdemic.
No, because like it's more competently exposed than Birdemic. Like there are shots in Birdemic with the special effects that are like legitimately hard to watch. Like
Yeah.
they make my face hurt.
They make my face hurt too.
Well, I would say this about Birdemic. Like Birdemic is more fun, and not just because of the birds. Like the characters are like so goofy. Like this movie, Neil Breen takes himself so sincerely, and so serious that it's almost hard to watch because he just is laying it all out there like he is changing the world.
And he thinks he is.
Yeah.
That's the thing. So I have a solution though for Neil Breen's movies. I really do.
Tell me everything.
So here's what if Neil Breen is listening to this, which I doubt he is, but we'll tag
That would be amazing.
We'll tag him on Twitter.
Come on the show.
Come on the show.
And if you don't come on the show, you're a coward.
Okay.
Oh my God.
First of all, Neil Breen, prove that you're a human, please.
Yeah. I want a blood sample like the thing.
Here's how you prove this. And I've thought about this when I was on the drive the other day. Here's how you fix this. You get Tommy Wiseau, you get Neil Breen, you get James Nguyen in a room together, and you tell them, we're going to make a shared universe bad movie.
Oh my God, shared universe. I'm in.
Okay? You get the weird shit from Neil Breen, you get the crappy effects from James Nguyen, and you get Tommy Wiseau's ass.
Well, Neil's ass too.
No, we don't need his ass. Just his side boob
Is there
ladies.
one you'd prefer over the other though, Brian? Because I'm at a hard loss for that.
I'm all about Tommy's ass.
Tommy's ass is
Okay, fair.
okay. Man, works out.
Good to know.
But
Hey, you can rest your coffee on that one.
Ew,
but what
why
I'm
are you guys so
saying,
nasty?
that's how we solve this problem here. Okay, we get them all into a Marvel universe type thing of bad movies. Just saying.
Okay.
All in it out
Three
there,
of those
guys.
megalomaniacal maniacs.
That's
Who's
right.
directing though? That's my question.
Oh, the person who directed would be what's his face from Troll 2. You gotta get an expert, like that. Like Troll, the guy who did Troll 2. What's his name?
In case you're
Oh,
wondering,
that Italian dude?
The Italian guy.
one of
Yeah.
the table legs just locked.
Yep, one of my table
Yep,
legs
that's
is
what that
driving.
sounds
What
like.
the fuck was that?
I'm like real good at hiding my reactions, but man, like inside, like my butt dropped into my stomach.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Well, how did your butt drop into your stomach?
I don't think you should worry about it.
Okay.
So yeah, that's Fateful Findings. I got nothing else.
No.
Fuck this movie.
You
Up its own
have
ass.
you have to see this, but don't blame me after.
Yeah.
No, we don't take any responsibility for this
It's
shit.
mind-boggling.
It is.
Mind
And-
boggling.
Well, because we always say, like, I mean, should they watch it or like maybe not?
You should watch. Here's the thing. You can watch this movie if you're with a group of friends and,
And
you're
drinking.
drunk.
Yeah.
Or drinking. You don't have to be drunk.
Oh
already.
no, I think you
No,
have
you
to,
have to be drunk.
Yeah, you can't go into this movie sober. Okay, I did that. I wasn't drinking when I saw.
It's true.
Fateful
You did
Findings.
not. You did not drink.
So-
that was your mistake.
I know. But what I'm saying is, I think this movie would be much more fun if you already were way drunk. You would just watch Double Down. I think you have to drink during Double Down and then get to the Fateful Findings.
Okay.
To be drunk for that, because there's no way you're going to get through this.
I'm with you.
So, yeah, if you're with a group of friends, want to watch a terrible movie, Neil Breen's Fateful Findings when you're drunk is probably good.
Yeah. If you don't like bad movies, stay as far away from this as possible. If you do, this might be, this gets thrown around a lot. This might be the Citizen Kane. I'm not.
No. I would say that this is the Twin Peaks of bad movies.
It is very surreal.
Or the Lost Highway of bad movies.
Oh,
Lost Highway
yeah.
is a bad movie.
No, but
I love that movie for its visuals, but Lost Highway is a bad movie.
what I'm saying is how Lost Highway and how Mulholland Drive are bizarro David Lynch films that you're just like, what the fuck is going on?
But that's an artistic choice. This movie is bizarre and
that's why I say it's,
because he's so bad.
Yes,
It's
but he
true.
thinks he's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I would say if you cut your chops on The Room and Troll 2, and you're kind of like, I really need a worse movie than that.
This isn't bad enough for me.
This would be the one you would go to next.
What a movie as bad as Birdemic, but not as fun.
I want it to be less fun.
That's fun. So I think that's it. Lane, where can they find you at on the Twitter machine?
You can find me at LA_Croft on Twitter. I haven't been on Twitter like super lately, but I'm gonna get back to it. So if you guys want to talk about this movie, at me.
At ya.
At me.
You can find me at Neil Breen.
Is that his Twitter handle?
Yeah, it is.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. At the Unreal J Wolf.
You can find me at Brian Contest on the Psycho Show page. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Google+, at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw away, you want to talk to us about your experiences watching Fateful Findings, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. And make sure to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts and iTunes and catch a new episode available every Sunday.
It's a magical day.
Epicast.